Hey all you wonderful people, welcome back to Let's Do a Thing. Today we're going to be doing a thing with booze. That's right. Today is the day we cross the line, alright? We're officially making a mixed frozen drink thing. And I know it doesn't sound like cooking, but there is cooking in it. We're going to make our own strawberry syrup and cut up all the fruits, cut up all the fruits, make it tasty. It's going to be wonderful. So why don't we go ahead and get set up, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. We've got 2 pounds of fresh strawberries here. This will make roughly about a pitcher or 2 pitchers, depending on how strawberry you like something. But what we're going to end up doing is cutting up half of this and turning it into a strawberry syrup, and then we'll cut up the other half or quarter, freeze it, and then leave the other quarter fresh. It'll all make sense in the end, trust me. But something doesn't feel right. Okay, that's better. I feel much better about this. So, it's summertime. I mean, it's pool time. You need some frozen drinks. If it hasn't become abundantly clear, we're going to make some strawberry daiquiris. This is one of my absolute favorites. I love fresh strawberries. I just kind of get tired of the stuff you buy in the store. It's covered in high fructose corn syrup and a lot of artificial flavors. Nah, we're gonna do this a little bit better here. So, let's get to cutting these up. And I'll show you how to hopefully not cut your fingers off, okay? I don't want that on my conscience. Some freshly washed strawberries here, and they're just on the peakness of being perfectly ripe. You can still see they've got a little bit of white on top, but that's okay. We're gonna cut all that off. So, if you don't know, you take a small paring knife, pinch real high up on the grip, like these, just to where a little bit of the knife can poke out. And you insert it like that, and then just turn the strawberry at a downward angle, and that comes right off. If you still have any white pieces, you can cut those off, but those have a kind of a bitter tang to them. So we're just going to cut up all of these, and if you have a lot of people have gadgets for stuff like this, like a strawberry huller or something like that. I don't have enough room in my kitchen for the stuff that I already have. And I just don't have room for that. So this is a really effective way. It really doesn't take long. Honestly, you could get a spoon and have a kid help you do this because you can make these virgin too. You don't have to put any rum or anything in them. They'll still be very delicious. So all we're going to do now is we're going to cut up these, quarter them, and get them ready to go half in the freezer, or quarter in the freezer, quarter in the fridge, and then half into our sauce pot where we're going to construct our syrup. So you guys can watch me cut these. You do need to be somewhat of a finer dice for the ones that are going in the syrup, just because we want them to break down fully, and the smaller the cuts are, the faster that's going to happen. And this is a great time if you have a measuring scale to go ahead and weigh out your ingredients, because we do want a pound of fresh strawberries for the syrup. That's the minimum. This syrup's really good, actually. Depending on how much you want to use, you can make a bunch of it, save it, put it in. We've tried it in mimosas. You could also turn it into popsicles. You just add a little less sugar. Experiment with it. It's a great thing to have at your hand. So these other ones I'm just going to cut up into halves, quarters, and set aside. These ones we will freeze, and that will help at the end when we go to blend everything, because we're not using any store-bought frozen strawberries. Now don't get me wrong, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Personally, I just think this tastes it brings a lot more freshness and strawberry to the party, and if we are in season for it, we should use it. There we go. Alright, so let's get these separated out. These guys will go in here. But I mean, look at how pretty these things are. Look at that. All right, let's get cleaned up. We also need to juice a whole lime, which I have right here. Again, coming into season, these things are getting real nice. If you haven't ever juiced a citrus before, always take it and roll it. That breaks all the cell walls on the inside. You get a lot more juice that way. Pro tip. You probably heard that. But if you haven't, tell everybody I told you. And they do it. It's very impressive. I have one of these citrus juicers right here. And we'll need about 2 tablespoons of lime. And this will actually go into the blender when we're ready. And then I think we get set up for syrup. So let me grab my heating elements and we'll be right back. We'll be right back with these after these strongly worded messages. So we've got our burner set up here. We've got 8 pounds of strawberries. We're going to go ahead and toss in the pot here. I've got 4 cups of water. Nothing special there. I mean, rich mineral spring water. And it looks like a lot of water, but a lot of it will boil off too. So, and like I said, you want extra syrup, don't you? It's delicious. So we will bring this to a slight boil. And these strawberries will slowly start to turn gray. They'll lose their pigment. And as it does, the water in here will really turn this beautiful red color. It's lovely, and it smells amazing. But that's going to take a few minutes. So we'll let that come to a boil. So we've come into a nice little simmer here. The strawberries are slowly starting to lose their color. You can kind of see that. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can. These will turn almost all gray and become real mushy, and that's where we want to stop. You could blend these up and use the whole thing, but this will lend a really nice clear syrup that you can use for many other things. This will probably take about 15 to 20 minutes depending on your volume and your burner and how much you want to reduce it. This has been on for roughly about 10 minutes now. I'm going to give it probably another 7 minutes and then I'll check it then. But these should just fall apart, kind of smush up against this one's already getting pretty close. Then we'll strain them out, put them back in here, and add all of our goodies to it to make it the final end-all syrup. Okay, so I've just turned this off. It's boiled for about 20 minutes now. You can kind of see that color. It's a beautiful red color. These have completely given up all their pigment, all their structure, pectin, all that good stuff. They are sad excuses of strawberries now. So what we're going to do, in a heat-safe bowl, we're going to strain this through a fine mesh sieve. This is one of those things that unfortunately you can't really get around. You can try a colander. I highly doubt that's going to help, but you could try. And you should also do very carefully, because this is, or just wait till it cools down, that's up to you. But we want to pool party right now. So now you guys can get a real pretty view of this color. We're going to add this back in. You could also just wait till it cools down. Okay. So now we're going to add a few things to this, and all of these things are just ramping up the flavor of strawberry. You're really not going to taste it. It's just to help emphasize the strawberry. We have a teaspoon of vanilla extract here, and again, you're not going to taste this. This just helps amp up the flavor of the strawberries. A pinch of salt for good luck. Again, it's not going to be salty because this is a 1.5 cups of sugar. You can adjust this to however you want. Our strawberries right now are just a little bit underripe, which means they have a little bit more of a bitter note, a little bit more of a tart kind of sour note. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust with a little bit more sugar in our syrup, and that's going to kind of cover that up, make it a little bit fresher. And now we're just going to mix this up, get all of that to dissolve and combine, which really shouldn't take long because it's still piping hot. And just like that, it has already dissolved. That is your syrup. You can go ahead and continue reducing if you'd like. This is plenty for us. We're going to let this cool completely, and then we're going to put it into an empty ice cube tray. And that way we can freeze it and just make it even more of a blended, delicious drink. Okay, so I've got this ice tray. This is completely cooled. I'm just gonna fill up this ice cube tray and freeze these. And look at that, 1 squirt bottle filled all these trays. It's like I planned it. So now we're going to pop this in the freezer, let it freeze, and then we're ready to assemble. Okay. So, first and foremost, drink responsibly. There, I've said it. Disclaimer's out. Lawyers, are you all satisfied?
Yes.
Okay. Drink responsibly, and if you're of age. Don't drink and drive. Done. So here we're going to add, I've got 8 ounces. This is our frozen syrup. This is 8 ounces of it in ice cubes. 8 ounces of frozen strawberries. We've got 2 ounces of lime juice. We've got 8 ounces of rum. Yes, it's a decent amount of rum. You do not have to use this much if you don't want to. And this is white rum. But there's 8 ounces going in. And then we have 8 ounces of our fresh strawberries. This just helps kind of bring that little bit fresher element to it. Just kind of livens up the whole thing. So we're going to add those in right now. We're going to blend this to start with before we add our 10 ounces of ice. That kind of helps get all the frozen fruit beaten up. That way you don't have any hunks of frozen fruit. That's when we'll add our 10 ounces of ice. We're going to town. What is the, I can't say that's somebody else's catchphrase. Flavor Town?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go to
We're going to town. We're going to Savorville. And that is a daiquiri. A strawberry daiquiri. Great consistency. Beautiful. Nice brain freeze. Smells of strawberries. First and foremost, doesn't smell like rum, doesn't smell like lime, it smells of strawberries. That's what I like my daiquiri to be like. So now, we're going to talk about presentation. Put it in a glass, put it in your face, however you want to do it. We have daiquiri glasses, and obviously we go all out because you all deserve it. So, we're going to, well, I guess I should probably make some whipped cream, shouldn't I? I'm going to make whipped cream. Hi, y'all. I'm going to teach you how to whip cream. Big secret. You put heavy cream in a bowl, and then you get a good whisk. That is the secret. You do want a good whisk. One of a lot of times, tip it up like this, and make sure you get it everywhere. And just start going back and forth. If you can do a figure 8 if you want in your bowl. This is just for the top of ours, so I'm not really going to add any sugar or anything like that. Our daiquiri is going to be plenty sweet. And I know a lot of you probably think, what is he doing, whipped cream on a daiquiri? Listen, I just got back from Florida, and they do it there, so it must be good. Been at this, and it's much thicker now. It's actually leaving kind of like streak. But we're going to go a little bit further. And all I'm doing is going back and forth. This is not rocket science. If you want whipped cream that's going to last a little bit longer, hold its shape, you can use confectioner sugar because it's a mixture of white sugar and cornstarch. And that cornstarch helps hold its form a little bit longer. Toss in a little bit of vanilla extract. You've got a really nice whipped cream for all sorts of occasions. You can see it's already starting to come together even more. I can't even pull it. Oop, I can throw it. They say that the test is to be able to hold the bowl over your head and nothing come out. I'm not that brave. I'm not doing it over my head. So now we've got some of this. We'll set this aside. Take a deep breath because that kind of wore me out just a hair. Now we need our glasses and we're ready to serve these up. Oh yeah. So let's put a daiquiri together. Come. Strawberries that I pulverized into a dust. That is how I do a strawberry daiquiri. You can't have it, but if you could, I'd give it to you. Well, this is strawberry daiquiris. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you give this recipe a try. It's really good. It really showcases that fresh strawberry flavor. If you don't have that option, you can always use frozen ones. Just, experiment, play with it a little bit, enjoy it. Just tweak it to however you like it. But to all the people that support this channel, I'd like to say thank you so very much. please consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel. It's free. Have to pay to subscribe. To all my subscribers, thank you so very much for the support, the endless support. It helps us so much. Thank you to all my subscribers. You truly are the best people. Until next time, go do a thing.
That's funny.